Hey, Stefan. First of all, thank you so much for your willingness to put yourself out there for our veteran job seekers. As we say all the time, people don't follow companies, they follow leaders. So I think it's really important we start off the conversation with them learning a little bit about you, your military experience, your transition out of uniform to KWE, and what you're currently doing at the company.
Absolutely. Thank you, Justin. I was in the Marine Corps. I separated in 2019. Thankfully enough, I used a similar company to this company, which I'm extremely grateful for. I struggled to find my way and eventually landed with KWE, and it has been an extreme success. Well, I've been here and I couldn't be happier.
What did you do in the Marine Corps? What was your MOS?
I was in the infantry.
What do you think prepared you? Was it your military experience that prepared you for the KWE role?
I would say there's a lot to do with the military experience, the level of maturity that they give you, that you can walk into a corporate setting and have.
In this role where safety is such a big deal.
Correct.
So before we get too in the weeds on that, let's first give me an overview of the company,
Sure.
and then let's jump into the position.
So we are a Japanese-based logistics provider around the world,
Which
and
is right next to LAX, right?
correct.
Okay.
And that will be the facility security coordinator position, which I currently hold in Boston.
Okay. So you're doing the job now, and can you walk us? It's such the title's almost misleading. Facilities role does.
Sure. For those three words, you automatically start thinking that this is a security job. You might be holding a.
Yeah.
No, it's not like that. This is actually more of an administrative job. This is more of a low speed, high drag, if you would. And it's more, like I said, administrative based. You are in overwatch of all the everybody.
Facility.
Yes.
Yeah, so is it scanning? Is it scanning vehicles? What is the security stat?
At LAX, our office, we have a certified facility over there.
Mhm.
We ship freight all over the world. At that facility, we use different methods of technology in order to screen these boxes, crates, whatever have you, skids, to be moved across the world in passenger and cargo airplanes. So essentially, you have to make sure that everything is done correctly, so there is no issues past.
Is this a document based role, documentation where behind a computer screen and you're watching everything happen, or are you actually out there physically watching the screening occur? How does that work?
So it's more of a blended role, if you would. A lot of it's going to be done through CCTV, where you'll
Okay.
be able to watch all of the screening happening on various cameras. You do not need to be there while the screening is happening, but you should be able to see some live screening happen during the week, for some of your audits and reports. And to touch back, I like to say you're a custodian of documents and logs.
Okay.
You'll have daily screening logs, and you'll have weekly, monthly, quarterly, annual audits that you need to complete. And we are governed by the TSA and Homeland Security. They can have their inspectors come in at any time, and they can request any documentation they would like, and you can provide it. And
So what it's almost like being if you're Navy, it's almost like being in a control room or
yeah,
like Army Marine Corps talk. right?
Mhm.
Kind of like where you're
Sure.
there and you're coordinating efforts and you're overseeing. What's stress look like in this role? That's the question that comes up to me. Is, hey, you're
Absolutely.
here, what are the challenges? What's stress look like? If there's an issue, are you the one out there? Are you immediately going out there to figure out what's going on?
So you will have screening supervisors and screeners underneath you that they will be hands-on if something does go wrong. We call it an alarm.
Mhm.
Um, it doesn't mean the world is going to end. It just means you have to clear any possible threat and you have certain measures you need to go through. That might spike a little bit of your stress level. And as I just previously mentioned, when the TSA does come in, it definitely rises your blood pressure a little
Yeah,
bit.
right. Homeland Security shows up at your door.
Yeah.
That changes the day. What's the initial part of this role look like? What do they have to learn? What did you bring to the role and what did you have to learn so they can kind of understand that?
So I will start by saying this position has 8 other people across the US. This is a decentralized department. You'd be part of the security and risk department for Kintetsu World Express. You will have a support network around you via internet, email, slash phone calls, but you are alone on an island and you have to get your feet wet. There's a lot of things I can say, there's a lot of buzzwords I can use, but until you encounter them yourself, you're not going to know what they mean or anything of the sort. However, there will be myself and maybe a few others that come to LA to train you up, to make sure that we left you in a good place. We're not going to just throw you to the wolves. And from there, my phone will always be on in case you have a question or concern moving
For this
forward.
role, you're really looking computer savvy, accountable, documentation, but really a strong backbone. I would think this role, there's points where you really have to hold the line in this role.
Yeah,
Is that true?
correct. So at this point, we being one of, we'll call it anywhere between 25 and 60 at any given branch, you are the one that ultimately says if something can or cannot leave the building. If there's an alarm, you have to be able to approach an operations manager, a branch manager, and explain to them why that shipment cannot go, even if it's a lot of money on the line. There is no line you can cross. You can go all the way up into it, but you cannot cross it.
So you really have to have that fortitude for this role.
Correct. So basically, we are essentially looking for a self-starter. Like I mentioned, there's no one going to be there to hold your hand every day to make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to, at least in person. We're looking for a leader to be able to spearhead their security program. Like I said,
What's the
there's
relationship, the physical relationship there? Are they reporting directly to the branch manager on site? How's that physical relationship with the KWET?
you are essentially a guest at their location. You are part of the corporate and you are deployed to each place,
Okay.
whatever
That
branch.
disconnect is there for a reason.
What's that?
I'm sure that that disconnect is there for a reason because
Correct.
safety is so important and
Correct.
that security. Okay. Yeah. And then what's the schedule like? Is this a Monday through Friday role? Is there travel involved? How does that look?
There is no travel involved. However, um, we have somewhat flexible hours. When I came in, I was given a certain set of 8 hours. Most efficient work schedule was coming in at 6 or 7 a.m., working that 8 hours or beyond, depending on what the day was. But these hours should be able to be, doesn't have to be necessarily a 7 to 3, 8 to 4, 9 to 5. there might be a different set of schedule that works with.
Now that brings up a question. So if you're not there, is screening not happening?
Screening will happen. There is, like I mentioned, screening supervisors. There will have to be a screening supervisor there. They can be screening as long as there's a screening supervisor there. And like I mentioned, you're doing most of your CCTV afterwards, making sure everything's done correctly, numbers are correct.
Almost like an audit.
Correct.
Okay.
And for this position, it's just you'll be doing so many that absolutely.
On that side. So Monday through Friday roll, the start end times are flexible, no travel. Support is both local from your supervisor, but national from the 8 other offices, reporting to corporate, but having a relationship with the local KWE team. Anything that we're missing? I think we pretty much covered everything that the role is. You know, I can see myself working there now that we've walked through kind of the data.
At this point, I would say it is, just to reiterate, it is that we're running here to make sure that explosives inside of these packages leave. When I came to this company, I was looking for a sense of purpose, as most vets are post separating. And this was definitely a place that gave me that sense of purpose, which was pretty cool.
Well, you know, that's so much, right? Leaving you purpose, then coming out and going, okay, I know I'm supposed to chase money, but I still have this thing that's called purpose that I need to follow.
Absolutely.
And being able to find that in a civilian job is just huge. And interview you, he'll be the one to help you go through the process. And then if this is the right role for you, he'll be the one to help mentor and develop you too. So again, thank you so much for spending time. Somebody will send them your way.
Thank you so much.